Welcome to our Plugs Community Connection. I am your host, DJ Kitty Cat, with my sister co-host, Miss Morningstar on WKRA 92.7 FM The Change. If you're looking for the best in news, current events, community outreach programs, and shopping connections, you've come to the right place. We've got a great mix of content and community connections lined up for you this evening, along with special guest interviews. So, grab your favorite drink of choice, turn up the volume, and let's get into it.
Good morning, WKRA 92.7 The Change. It's your morning host, DJ Kitty, here with my co-host, Miss Morningstar from Our Plugs, the Community Connection. Happy Thursday. It is a good day. It's almost the weekend. I hope everyone has had a wonderful week, despite of everything that may or may not have happened, that you've had a wonderful week thus far. Hope you've had your breakfast. Come on in, sit down. Let's get into it. Today is another good day that the Lord has allowed us to wake up and see the sun shine and hear the birds chirping and realize that we've got one more day to make an impact. Good morning, Miss Morningstar. How are you?
Good morning and
morning.
happy Thursday. Wow.
Yes.
We almost there. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome in.
It is May 1st.
May 1st. Wow. Where did April go?
I mean, it's in the blink of an eye. It'll be December in no time. It'll be
Don't
Halloween
say that,
no
Lord.
Time. I'm just saying,
it's going.
The summer's
too
gonna
fast
fly
for
back
me.
by, and whew, but
it don't seem like it's enough time in a day.
It's not. I need it to slow down. It's like after you turn 25, the days just turn into a blur. It's just everything is flying by, especially if you're working or you have kids or you're in school. It's just there's not enough time in the day for
and
everything.
That's in the regular world, but remember, we in the upside down world right now. So
now, girl, you have said a mouthful. We are definitely in the upside down. It's different.
We are in the upside down world right now.
It is different. It's definitely different. You say to yourself, I don't even like to say what's next, because what's next is a loaded question. Who knows? Who knows? But we'll get into it, because this administration is every day, every single day. It's just.
But we are here to let you guys know we're gonna be all right.
Oh, girl, we are gonna be just fine.
We're gonna be all right. So
we are soldiers. This is nothing for a G.
This is just chump change, as my uncle used to say. You got this chump change.
Chump change, little chump change. Before we get into the show, we always like to start our show with a positive morning affirmation from our affirmation queen, Mrs. Morningstar. What do you have for us today, Miss Morningstar, our queen?
All right, let's see. So, positive affirmations. I wanted to just throw out a few that you guys may want to put like a sticky note to, something to remind yourself in the morning about who you are, and just help alleviate any depression you may be having and boost your self-esteem. That's what affirmations are about. So I came across this article, and it has some nice memorable affirmations, and some you might need to just kind of take notes and put up in front of you so you can see it every day. So write these out or memorize these. Sometimes the work is resting. There is growth in stillness. There is peace in changing your mind when it's done in love. There is poetry in everything if you look for it. There is room for me at the table. There is something in this world that only I can do. That is why I am here. There is strength in quiet. There is vulnerability in being loud. Today I celebrate that I am younger than I'm ever going to be. I love that one.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Today is an opportunity to grow and learn. When I feel fear, I feed trust.
Oh, I like that.
When I focus on my reason for being, I am indefinite, infinitely brave. I'm saying it wrong.
Yes. Yes,
When
yes, yes.
I forgive myself, I'm free. I free myself. I believe that.
I do.
And that's some you affirmations. That's some things, and it's more, guys, but I just want to give you just a few.
Yes, some nuggets. A
Yeah,
few
jot
nuggets.
those down. Feed those into your spirit, into your heart.
Yes. And walk through that. That's walking
Yeah.
through faith. Walk through that because at the end of the day, you got to love yourself. And if that means telling yourself the best part of life is you, then that's what you have to do. And
Yes,
if you think about it, the best part of life is you.
it is.
It's your
And
life
you are uniquely yourself. Nobody else
and
is like
valuable.
you. A friend of ours told us that, right?
Yes. There's nobody else on this planet like you.
That's
Even if
right.
you're an identical twin,
Even if you're
even if
an
you're not,
identical twin,
you
you are
know,
still your individual self.
yes. And the world is better with you than without, you know? So
Absolutely.
walk your truth and enjoy the walk. Enjoy
Yeah.
the journey, you know? Because
Yep.
all this is a journey every single day. You know, if you think
We're
about
doing
it.
the best we can, guys. We're doing the
Hey,
best we can.
as Tupac would say, uh, a dime and a nickel. Okay? A dime and a nickel.
The
Okay,
great
so
part.
yes, the great Tupac. Let's get into this weather. So we're
Oh,
in for some rain for the next few days. You know, it's in Houston, it's about a week off and on, you know, where we're going to hit some rain, which I'm not too mad about
the
as
plants
long
need
as
it,
it's,
Kitty. The
yeah, it
plants
is
need
needed
it. And I
when
know
it's
that,
needed.
we starting this little garden. It need the
It needs the
rainwater.
rain.
It need the
Absolutely.
rainwater.
It sure does. So in Holly Springs, you're looking at a high of 78, a low of 68, scattered thunderstorms. You've got about a 67% chance of rain. So it's going to rain today. There's going to be winds out of the southwest about 14, 15 miles per hour. In Memphis, the high will be 80, low at 65. Morning thunderstorms. Afternoon, it should clear up. It's about a 47% chance of rain. Winds coming out of the southwest, same, about 13, 14 miles per hour. And in Houston, Texas, hot Houston, we're looking at 86 degrees, a low of 74, mostly cloudy with a 24% chance of rain. Winds coming out of the south southeast at 18 to 20 miles per hour. It may pick up to about 30 miles per hour. So it's going to be another windy day. I was out in the elements yesterday and it was pretty windy. I enjoyed it though because it's not a hot wind. It's pleasant, pleasant. So let's get into these allergens, okay? Tree pollen. In Holly Springs, it's high. In Memphis, it's high. And in Houston, it's medium. Grass pollen, Holly Springs, it's medium. Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, it's high. And in Houston, it's high. We can tell, okay? And ragweed pollen, um, let's see, it's high in Tennessee. It's high in, no, I'm sorry, it's low in Tennessee. It's low in Holly Springs, Memphis, Tennessee, low in Holly Springs, and medium in Houston, Texas. So we're not out of the woods yet with these allergens. I suffer from seasonal allergies all year long, so I don't know when it's supposed to stop, but because it never stops for me. I just feel like it's always something in the air that's affecting my allergies. But if you're going to be outside in the elements for an extended period of time, put yourself on a mask, especially if you have breathing issues or any type of respiratory issues. Please mask up. It's to save you from the headaches and the stuffiness. And, you know, if you don't treat it, eventually it turns into an infection. So take it from someone who fights it all the time. Take your meds when you need to. Put your mask on when you need to and drink plenty of water. Oh, and touch grass. Touch grass. That's my favorite saying. So, news you can use. Breaking news. Breaking news. So I'm going to start, and then sis, you can start. I'm going to hop on number one. Somebody is trying to declare martial law. Why? It's like you're trying to get the military to come out against citizens of the United States. And there's so much more to martial law, but, folks, if they march, if they feel like, they don't want you out there marching, they can call in the National Guard. He's trying to make it so that he has complete control of everything. This is not a dictatorship. If he wants to be a dictator, why doesn't he try and go against Vladimir, his homeboy, and take over Russia? This is so un-American.
It is. It's
martial law.
Completely unacceptable. It is unprecedented. It's unconstitutional. It's everything, but it's not surprising.
No,
it's not surprising.
We actually expect it. At this point, I expect him to do the very worst, because that's what it's all about. It's about tormenting the country. And like he said, after he got elected and people were saying, well, you said you were going to give us lower grocery prices. He said he didn't say that. He said he told y'all, MAGA, that it was going to get tough. That's what he said. He said, y'all, he told y'all.
See how he played y'all?
Played y'all like a funky piano.
Like a fiddle, baby. Played you like a soft fiddle. Now, what he didn't mention to him during the campaigning was, it's going to get a little tough. But what he did say was, I'm going to lower your groceries. I'm going to lower your gas. I'm going to lower your rent. I'm going to do all this. But he ain't never tell you how he was going to exactly do it. But y'all fell for it.
Yeah.
He still voted
hook, line, and sink.
Without no explanation as to how he's going to do these things.
Concepts. He had a concept of a plan. And his concept was Project 2025. Your groceries will be lowered. Your rent will be lowered. All of that will be lowered when he stops EBT. Your grocery prices will be lowered because you ain't gonna be able to afford them. That's how low they'll be. You don't have to worry about it because you won't be able to afford it. Your rent will be lowered because it's my understanding he's doing away with HUD at the end of 2025. So there's going to be a lot of homeless people. A lot of homeless people that, they voted for this. There's a lot of people.
It's definitely going to be some people hurting behind these plans that he has, him and his Decepticon crew have. Is definitely going to put a lot of people in big jeopardy,
Well, that's what they wanted, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. They wanted it just for everybody else, not them.
They thought it was going to be for us, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. They thought it was just going to be about us. And now they're befuddled that it includes them. But I heard that the House is trying to pass the rest of the tax cuts for the billionaires. If they pass those tax cuts,
something happened, and I think it was with the tariffs today, or I've heard in passing yesterday, and I got to go back and read and check on it with the House, with the Senate.
With the Senate.
With the Senate. And it might be about the tariffs, something.
No,
bipartisan. It was supposed to be a bipartisan.
That wasn't the tariffs. I'm gonna tell you what that was.
That
is the Take It Down Act, where you can't put up graphic photos, explicit photos.
That might be something else. That might be too. But this definitely has something to do with
this was a bipartisan bill that passed yesterday.
This didn't pass. So
this one didn't?
Yeah, this is something that was like breaking news yesterday evening. It didn't pass.
Wow.
And it's something with the tariffs that the Senate is letting it go. Letting it go ahead and slide through. So I'm gonna read up on it and see what these senators What they doing?
You know, they're gonna sit and do whatever he's telling them to do. It sounds like to me, whatever he
They
tells them to
afraid.
do is
They
what
afraid.
yeah, they need to be afraid.
You
You know,
heard? Rumor has it. I heard. I haven't heard it myself, but that Lindsey Graham said he should be the next pope.
the Pope. Y'all, what are we doing?
Catholics, where you at?
Come to the front of the room.
Outrage.
Come to the front. He said he doesn't even he said he's not a Christian. He doesn't even
He's not even a Christian.
he's not Catholic. He doesn't even tell him to tell you one Bible verse to save his life. One Bible verse. You know, you're supposed to speak things into existence. So I said a real good prayer to me and my God this morning about how I'd like things to go, because I feel like wigs need to be retired. When they're old and brittle, wigs need to be retired. They need to be put in a box, a wooden box, and buried deep, like 6 feet. And the combs that that wig was using, those combs need to be arrested. Or yeah, so wigs need to be retired and combs need to be arrested. And y'all can try and figure that one out.
Agreed.
Trump did have an interview yesterday. I don't know if you saw it or not, sis, but he had an interview with ABC, I believe, Terry Moran. And him and Terry Moran, they went back and forth. They were upset, and he was upset because Terry Moran wouldn't accept the lie. He said, "Well, why can't you just say yes?"
Yeah, he said that. He did.
I'm giving you an opportunity to
frustrated.
Yeah, I'm giving you an opportunity to come in here and actually do an interview with me. I'm giving you an opportunity, and you're not doing what I need you to do. Basically, lie for him.
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong?
That's basically what he was saying. I don't really know you that well, but why aren't you, agreeing with me? What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? I need you to agree with me. Why can't you just agree? Why we got to argue about it? Why can't you just agree with me?
That's what he's used to.
Yeah, he is. He's used to everybody just saying, "Oh, okay." You're not getting that. You're not getting that. And I'm glad that the reporter said no. And we need other reporters to stand up and say no. And especially when that White House, what is the lady name? The one with the no upper lip. What's her name?
Caroline?
Yeah,
Caroline. Caroline.
Okay. I need people to push back on her. Oh, the lies. When do we become
She's very
a nation?
snappy. So I think that people
got
try
attitude.
to push. She's very, very disrespectful. So when people do push back on her, she's very snippy. She's quick with her snippiness. That's what got her the job, because she knows how to respond very snippy. They need to put somebody up for the challenge. I got a press pass.
Call me in. Tag me in, coach. They would escort me out. So, ma'am.
There it is.
They would snatch me up by my collar.
Get her out of here. Get her
on out of here. I don't think I would make it past security. They would see the look in my eyes and know, that's trouble right there. Follow her. Ma'am, come on back. I probably wouldn't make it past the front gate because of the smell. Anywho, because ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Anywho.
That's right.
Yeah, so he was pushing back about, Kilmar, Albrega, Garcia, and how he could bring him back. I'm the president. This man is it's shameful at this point.
He incriminates himself all the time. I mean, they have so much
evidence to lock him up.
That he should have been gone a long time ago, as far as, will they do it? No. But it's just the fact that we see it, and people need to wake up and stop allowing themselves to be brainwashed and manipulated. I mean, this is not even convincing brainwashing. This is just bad. Flat out, I'm going to tell you whatever it is I want to tell you, and you're going to believe it.
And you're going to accept it. You're going to accept it and be glad that that's what I'm saying to you. Just accept it. And that's crazy. that you think that people are just going to sit back and accept it.
Yeah.
I know that the Cybertrucks are taking a beating, you know. Elon, has anybody seen Elon? Where's he been?
I ain't seen the boy.
He's been crying, I know that much.
I ain't seen you. I ain't seen you, Elon.
He's a
Where you
little
at?
upset. I heard he's a little upset because things aren't seeming to go his way, and him and Trump, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't,
he
it,
kind of
the, all,
brought that on himself, I
he sure
think.
did. You stay out of politics. And then Jeff Bezos bending the knee. Amazon, come to the front of the room. Now, why would you change from showing the American people how much these tariffs are costing for their goods and services? Please don't make me cancel my Amazon account because I use it for when it's necessary. When it's necessary, I actually have to go through Amazon. But
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, you tripping. Just straight tripping.
Not
And
surprising,
not
he
surprising.
donated to the campaign,
$1 million.
and all he had to do was make a phone call. Hey, oh, okay, all right, and he
And he just
was able
falling
to
for it. I'm gonna
fall
do
right into place.
whatever they say, I'm gonna do it. Whatever they say, I'm gonna do it. No
Ooh,
backbone, no backbone. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break, sis.
okay.
You are listening to WKRA 92.7 The Change with your morning host, DJ Kitty, and our co-host, Miss Morningstar from Our Plugs, the Community Connection. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Let's be real. Being a woman means juggling everything. Careers, families, goals, and somehow our health ends up last on the list. But what if your wellness came first? At Nutrition You Design, we believe healthy living shouldn't be complicated. From custom meal plans to one-on-one coaching and specialized lab testing, we're here to help you fuel your body and feel amazing every day. It's not about dieting, it's about thriving. It's about energy, balance, confidence, you. So if you're ready to feel stronger, healthier, and in control of your nutrition, let's do this together. Contact Nutrition You Design today and design a healthier you.
Hey guys, guess what? I got something to show you. Boom, 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 bam. You like what you see? This is from Morningstar Boutique. Yes, beautiful, nice and thick, comfy, and it fits. So if you like this sweater, you got to go to All Plugs and scroll down with Morningstar Boutique, and you gotta get yours, because I got mine. You better go get yours, because yeah, you might run out fast. So yeah, if you like this sweater, go to ourplugs, ourplugs.com, scroll down and hit Morningstar Boutique and get yours. Yes, this is from a black powerful woman to another powerful black woman. So yeah, we're moving on. Go get yours so we all can be warm. Okay? God bless.
Timeless elegance. Redefine class. Welcome to Morningstar Boutique by Tam, where fashion at its finest, fashion that brings out your inner cuteness, and styles that make you go, oh girl, where you get that from? Check me out at www.morningstarboutique.com or at ourplugs.com. Can't wait to see you.
And I'd like for you to do one more thing for me. Hold up 2 fingers. This is you, and this is me, and the space that exists between us should be filled with value.
Equal, a global human initiative, and its value identity model.
And we are back. You are listening to Our Plugs on 92.7 The Change. I'm your morning host, and we're here today to discuss. Sorry about that, guys. No, we're here today to discuss a lot of things. I know that we are picking up where we left off on Tuesday's show. we had our brothers come up, and they were talking about what do we do next? Where do we go next? But before we get there, I wanted to finish up our morning news you can use. So that's what's coming. Go ahead, Miss Morningstar. I think you did have an article that you wanted to talk
Yeah,
about.
I do got a couple things I found interesting.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think this is one you guys are gonna like to hear. This is found on blacknews.com. Most Europeans originally had dark skin, new DNA study reveals.
What?
Recent research suggested that dark skin was the norm in most of Europe history, with lighter skin becoming more common only about in the last 1,700 years. Experts from the University of Fara in Italy discovered that until around this time, pale skin was relatively rare across the continent. According to Daily Mail, they're saying that researchers studied DNA from 348 ancient individuals who lived across Europe for over the last 45,000 years. Their findings revealed that almost all early Europeans had dark skin.
Wow.
Pale skin was first appeared in Sweden during the Mesozoic period around 14,000 years ago, but stayed rare for thousands of years. Isn't this interesting? The
It's
shift to
very
lighter
interesting.
skin tones was slow and uneven. However, darker skin became equally common in Central Europe. Darker skin tones were still widespread in parts of Southern and Eastern Europe, including Italy, Spain, and Russia. The data shows how skin tones vary by regions and time. Around 8,000 BC, 85% of the people had dark skin. That's a big number. Before Christ, BC
Before
Christ.
before Christ.
Before Christ.
I got so many
By
questions.
the Bronze Age, there was a mix of light skin and other dark skin, and many had in-between tones. In France, dark skin dominated early on, but by the Bronze Age, pale skin had become common. Scientists are believing that the shift is linked between climate. As humans moved into areas where less sunlight, light skin helped them absorb the UV ray and produce vitamin D, contrast, but darker skin provided better protection against sun damage in high UV regions.
I have so many questions. You got to send me that article because I need to do some research.
Deep dive.
A deep dive into that because now
And that,
I am blown away.
You got my attention. And
Yeah.
I would tell you listeners, make sure if you want to do a little bit deep dive into it, it is on blacknews.com. And it's very interesting. These are some researchers and some scientists that did this research.
So where did they come from? Maybe a meteor.
I don't know. Well, me and my husband was trying to put it together. We was like, we just know something is different and off about, a particular group of people. Like some of the things that they do and some of the ways that they behave, it just don't feel right.
Something in the milk ain't clean.
Something ain't good. Something ain't right. We're gonna get to the bottom of it though.
We're gonna get because I'm vested. I gotta know. Now
I'm intrigued and I love this
know.
article. So
we may have to do some real research and maybe talk.
Yeah.
There was no white people in the Bible. You are absolutely correct, T. Wiz.
We know this.
We know that
because we know where they lived.
I have got
close to the equator, baby. Ain't nothing but beautiful chocolate people over there.
Okay, so that being said, I know that whomever wrote that article, they probably published papers. It's time to do some research, y'all, because we got to find out. You know, they say aliens are real, and I always think that something happened 14,000 years ago.
Well, they say 1,400 years
1,400 years
they
ago.
start seeing the paler color. I'm just saying, listening audience and chat, let's dig deeper into it, because this is an article that when I read it, I said, oh, I got to read this whole article.
Yeah.
I had to share this with everybody, because I had no idea about Europe. Now,
me either.
A little bit I heard about the kings and the queens and stuff, but the way it just went, and then it said before Christ. So
yeah, it's time to really do some real research. I want to know who wrote that article, and then find out, because I know they published theses and they've got their work.
They may have some peer reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
So
we got to figure that one
out. My next thing was and it was about payback is a mug. You gotta be careful when you do things maliciously. So the NFL has now charged the Atlanta Falcons and the defense coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons a fine for the prank call that was made on Shedeur Sanders, as he was waiting to be selected on the draft. The Atlanta Hawks. I'm saying it wrong. The Atlanta Falcons. The Hawks is on my mind because I love basketball. The Atlanta Falcons were fined $250,000, and the defense coordinator Jeff Ubrich was fined $100,000. So that's a total of $350,000 that this young person who belongs to Jeff cost them for thinking he was making a joke about someone's
That's $400,000
life.
Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get. Somebody needs to get fired, though, because paying a fine is great. But if you can really think about it like this, you got to think the bigger picture. They have private information that's shared, and people. I mean, it's the NFL is a serious business, and contracts could be on there. People's personal information. You got HIPAA. You've got all types of things.
NFL don't play about that now. So they a lot of things, but
if he were a black person, they would be calling for his resignation.
Well, the owners, that was the first. First they let the owners make a decision, like, what are you going to do about this? And when the owners said, oh, well, we're not going to take any measurement, disciplinary actions, then the NFL said, okay, we're doing an investigation. So this is the investigation of the NFL, and this is the fine. So now I'm curious to say, what's that discussion at the table now with the owners, of the Atlanta Falcons? What's the discussion? Y'all got a lot of money, so
I don't think that they care. I don't think that they care, and they're gonna sweep it under the rug.
It's a little insurance, that's all. But it's still, insurance will pay it. I'm glad it still happened.
Yeah, I am too. I'm glad that the NFL's taking ownership and holding the Atlanta Falcons accountable for this. And not just sweep it under the rug, because you don't do that. You don't do that. What if the son had given away? If you can give away and feel like you can go on your dad's tablet and get a phone number, what's going to stop you from getting plays and sending that off?
Yeah, that part.
There's no security. That's just like going into your parents' liquor cabinet, or weapons case or anything. You're that, but our kids know better. some children feel like they have a sense of entitlement, nothing's going to happen to them, and they thought it was funny, and I'm going to show this to all my friends and we're going to laugh about it. Wasn't nothing funny. There was nothing, absolutely nothing funny. And his
This
son,
a 21-year-old man. You ain't even a kid no more. You 21-year-old man.
but they're trying to make it seem like he's just a kid. Oh, he was just a kid.
You need to pay like your way.
Yeah. I guess that $250,000 that the dad had to pay, that was an expensive phone call. That was the most expensive prank ever. Well, no, the most expensive prank ever was electing this criminal. No, don't get me started on that.
That's a whole joke, but I digress.
Yes, I digress. Seriously.
Yeah. So that's pretty much for me as far as the news. I mean, there was, of course, the fact check that happened with Trump with the interview, where he fought. This is why when you just said clown show, when he falsely claimed gas prices was $1.98 in some states. Fact check. Gas, there is no $1.98 in any of these United States. How many states we got? 50. There is no $1.98.
I don't get it.
In any of these states, regular or nothing. I looked too. I was like, and then I read the CNN fact check, and of course, it was another lie.
He lies about everything.
He will tell them this, and they'll be like, yeah. And they know God doggone well they're not putting $1.98 per gallon in their tank.
Please don't do away with the education system. I mean, I know it needs a huge overhaul because obviously there were a lot of kids left behind and their names are MAGA. But please, we still need some sort of education system because people cannot be this slow.
Snap out of it, y'all. Y'all are in the deepest trance. I've never witnessed anything of this magnitude.
It's in the Bible.
It's
in their Bible. It's in the book of Revelations. And they failed. They failed miserably. Let's go ahead and bring our brothers up. And
all right,
let's continue our conversation.
Get them on the floor.
Yes.
All right. Good evening.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, somebody's got some echo. So let's try and go on mute if you're not talking. But good morning, DC. Good morning, Reggie. How are you guys doing?
Happy Thursday, Miss Kitty and Miss Morningstar, DJ Kitty and Miss Morningstar, and WKRA listening audience. Happy Thursday.
Thank you. And DC, I think DC is having some technical issues. He'll be right back, though. I'm quite sure he'll pop right back on. DC, maybe you need to go out and just come back in. Sometimes it's like that when you've been sitting for a while. Technology will let you down every time. But it is a good day. I'm glad that we're back because we're going to pick up from where we left off. I know, Reggie, are you able to give a quick recap? Oh, DC's back. Good morning, DC.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm lovely. Looking forward to this wonderful conversation that we had the other night to continue it out.
Good. Yeah, your volume sounds good. You guys sound great. So who wants to give a recap of last Tuesday, this past Tuesday, of what we were discussing? Reggie, can you give a recap?
Certainly. So the topic of the discussion, because we were at 99 days, actually, I'm sorry, we were at 100 days of this current administration. And so the question was, have we had enough yet? And then, so you're shaking your head. I'll assume your answer is yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. And the other part of that was, our most powerful inherent ability or power, and that is our choice. And so we were exploring and kind of talking about where is the organizing happening, because it to a great degree feels like that there's no one coming to save us. And I don't mean just, us as a Black or peoples of color community, but just us as a country overall. I just don't see the urgency. I know there's been, some pushback in terms of the federal courts and judges, but I just don't see the urgency in our legislative bodies, in our Congress, and our House of Representatives, at the level at the level of the onslaught that we're under, to really combat this. And so we were talking about community gardens. And so my idea, um, you know, in part one of that idea was, I think that we need to implore our governors to, I don't know, call some kind of special session. And we need to implore them to stop sending in our tax dollars, so that, because that will basically cut off their blood supply and their ability to abuse us, because that's what they're utilizing. And they're utilizing our money, our tax dollars, they're using it against us, because everything that we pay taxes for pays for everything that, that they do. And the other component of it, as it pertained to the community gardens, is, I'm looking at, what is the best teacher, which is experience, i.e. history. I'm looking at kind of a model of what Harriet Tubman did, and with these community gardens, I think that we could, kind of look at them as charging stations, okay, where those of us who are, say, for example, like myself, I'm in an area where I can't grow a garden, but I can support community gardens that are around the country within our network. Once we identify what those are, and we can basically create a network of community gardens where food can be grown, where those of us like me can support those community gardens, so that when, if and when we get to the point where food is needed, that is something that I can access. And also, we can also build community around those community gardens, because say I come to Houston, Texas, where there's a community garden, and a group of us can come to to these community gardens and consider it like a charging station, where we can eat, where we can get supplies that we need, where we can connect, where we can talk, where we can build, where we can plan, and so forth. And again, all of this to a great degree can be completely off grid, but it's a method through which we can sustain ourselves and survive until we kind of figure out, what steps we need to take to move forward.
I love that. I love that. I will say this, to piggyback off of that, DC shared with our group that there is a community garden in Houston, Texas. I pass by this community garden every single day on my way home. It's in Sunnyside, Texas, Houston, Texas. It's in a small neighborhood, Black neighborhood, and it's beautiful. I passed by it. I haven't been by there because I'm coming home at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon or evening, and it's not open. So I'm gonna go by there this weekend to see when it is. But I also signed up on their website so I can get their information. But I'm definitely going to connect with them. And if you don't have a community garden in your area, you can start one, and it's not even hard. Order your seeds. Get with maybe 3 or 4 of your girlfriends or your guy friends. If you're in an apartment and you can't actually plant, you can get you one of those stands, or you can even do old school, get you a bucket and plant. Have you a bucket for potatoes, have you a bucket for celery, have you a bucket for tomatoes and radishes, and you do 4. And your girlfriend, she does 4. And your other friend, she does 4. And you have your fruit, your vegetables. If somebody else wants to join, that's how you build your connection. But I think that it's a brilliant idea, considering that the ports aren't, there's two parts to this. Not only are we dealing with the ports in China not shipping us anything, but he's deported thousands of people who worked those are our in America, our fields, and they harvested our fruits and our vegetables. Well, all those fruits and vegetables, they're blooming now.
Right.
But all the people that can harvest them have been deported now.
So the food will be rotting, as you
food is rotting.
alluded to, right?
Yes, and not only that, I believe that they found containers. There was a container that made its way, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, to Jamaica or somewhere in the islands, and was full of chicken. Don't eat that.
My God.
It
And to your
washed
point,
up.
DJ Kitty,
That's
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
Go ahead.
And to
No,
your
go
point,
ahead.
yeah, another idea that you mentioned, you said we could basically chip in and buy, livestock. And, again, if there are shortages, we could either, we could have, people who are supporting the community garden come to those areas, so that, again, we can connect, we can have community, people can eat and sustain themselves. Or we can also, if meat needs to be sent via, FedEx or UPS, that can also happen too. But it's a way for us to create our own infrastructure so that we're not 100% dependent on now these government entities under this administration that clearly don't care about our well-being, and who are going to just continue to exemplify that in all of the actions and, executive orders and whatever else it is that they do. So we have to save ourselves now. I personally I don't feel that we have time or the luxury of waiting on whoever, Congress, whoever, House of Representatives,
They're not
Kamala.
moving.
Yeah, they're not. And
They've had
so
all this time. It's been 100 days. They're not.
absolutely.
Yes, they are talking, and they're doing the Cory Booker and
We don't need
Jasmine
that.
Crockett and AOC and Bernie Sanders. They're talking. Talk
We
is
need
cheap.
action.
We need action.
We need freaking action, because this is, we're down to the wire. I don't know what the window is, but I know that it's very small, and it's every day it's getting smaller. Exactly. And so I would just invite, and I'll end here. I would just invite everyone who is thinking about a community garden, everyone who has a community garden, please contact Our Plugs. Please sign up as a general membership. Let's connect. Let's start having, a dialogue around this so that we can create a network and an infrastructure whereby we can sustain ourselves and survive. And again, calling these charging stations where we can literally come together and we can make plans, and
Keep going, Reggie. Keep going.
We can make plans, and we can have meals, and we can talk and organize and figure out, basically how we're going to move forward as a community, as a body, as a nation, as a regional section, whatever it is, so that we can survive. This is not about, for me, this is not about government anymore. This is about survival. So I'm not looking to those entities anymore, because in my opinion, I don't see them doing enough. I don't see them moving fast enough. I feel like if anyone is going to save us, it is going to be up to us now to do it. And so we've got to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was saying, I was thinking, we've got, yes, we can use FedEx and UPS. However, here's just an idea. My husband and I have a mobile grocery delivery business, and I can talk to him, as well as there's several in Texas. Now, a lot of states don't have this, but this is a great opportunity, especially those truck drivers who are looking at things slowing down due to the tariffs.
Exactly.
look into connecting with that community garden, because there's a lot of elderly people, there's a lot of people without vehicles, and they need those deliveries. They need
Absolutely.
to be in connecting with a community garden versus a grocery store. So you have to think about it, how it works with when you have a mobile grocery business is you get your goods and services from the grocery store and then you deliver. Well, goods and services, unfortunately, I'd say in about maybe another 65, 75 days are going to be scarce.
Correct.
So, and people are going to need a avenue to pick up and have those groceries delivered. Well, if they don't have the groceries in the store, if you're out there listening, if you have a flatbed, if you have even a car, you can go and connect with a community garden in your area, and you can charge just like Uber Eats and
Correct.
what is it? What's the other place where DoorDash? You can
Correct.
you can pick up groceries from these um, community gardens or from a butcher or from a farm and deliver these to these underprivileged areas and charge. You can't charge astronomical prices, but it's a part-time job and it pays pretty well.
Yeah,
It
and
pays
this is
pretty,
and to your point, this now becomes our own infrastructure where
yeah,
we're not just, waiting, you know, for lack of a better word or phrase, a handout, but you know, we have a mechanism where we can get meat, when we have mechanisms where we can get fruits and vegetables, and it's all self-contained. And again, if you have a community garden, if you're thinking about a community garden, please contact our plugs. If you grow, if you have livestock, cattle, pigs, chickens that you basically
eggs.
raise, contact us so that we can create a network. Again, like you said, DJ Kitty, there can be local delivery services. We can build community around it. For those of us like me, we can have food and vegetables shipped to individuals like me, or individuals like me can come to these areas and spend a week or 2 weeks, and we can have community and have meals, and we can think tank and you know develop ways for us to survive. This is outside of the box of the political arena now. This is about how do we get from today to tomorrow.
That's a real statement, because if you truly think about it, and a lot of people have sat back and said, okay, he's been elected, we've got to sit out these 4 years. Okay, let's sit out these 4 years. But what happens in those 4 years?
Mhm.
Because this isn't a normal election. This isn't a
No.
normal president. It's not like every president that we've ever been under, at least they still took care of the American people. It may have not been the best, but it wasn't like this, where you were alienating America from the entire world, where now the entire world doesn't want to work with America. They don't want to ship. They've cut us out. The world has broken up with us thanks to this man and his mouth and his lies and his rhetoric and his cabinet full of deplorable idiots. The world has cut us, has cut us off.
And
So
the other, I'm sorry, did you get it?
we're at a standstill. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Go ahead,
The
Reggie.
other the other consequential benefit to that is that once you shift, because we're talking about putting, our ability to control our own destinies now back into our hands. Once you pivot that power to people where they're sustaining themselves, the power dynamic also shifts. And
Yeah.
then we, by default, as a direct consequence, we then are afforded more say in navigating our own destinies, because again, the power rests with the people. as opposed to an entity or a body or a government deciding for the people. If we have our own infrastructures and our own networks, and we're basically self-sustaining now because we have to, that also comes with a great degree of power that will now begin to rest with us and in our hands. And so, again, it gives us more of a voice in determining, you know, what governing bodies do next. Because if there are no people to govern, and if people are sustaining themselves, then hey, someone,
Exactly.
someone is going to start paying attention to that.
Exactly. We will be right back, but let's take a quick commercial. Take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection on WKRA 92.7 The Change. We'll be right back. Let's hop onto these commercials.
Hey guys, yes, this is my nonprofit, Carter's Caring Hands. And what my nonprofit does, we give fresh food boxes to those families in need that's struggling to keep food on their tables. We also go out into the unhoused community, give out care bags here in the Kalamazoo, Michigan area. So if you'd like to donate to the cause, please go to www.carterscaringhands.com and donate whatever you can, so we together can uplift those families that's struggling to keep food on their tables. Highly appreciate it. God bless.
Opalmay Simplistic Beauty is hair care and skincare in a bottle. Take a quick survey and let us design your own formula. Go to ourplugs.com, look for Opalmay Simplistic Beauty, and we can get your formula out to you as soon as possible. We hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Middleton, life and executive leadership coach and owner of Radiate Coaching and Development, where we provide transformational strength-based coaching and mentorship. My goal specifically is to support you in identifying your mission, your vision, and your values that help you take your power back as you are building your career. Whether it's within or outside of the corporate world, my goal is to really empower you in making decisions that work well for you. So if you want to reach out to me, by all means, you can email me at radiate@midspiration.com or check out my website at radiatecoaching.com.
Welcome to a world that sparkles. Sparkle Kicks LLC is your one-stop shop for a wide variety of customized items. So bling out your Crocs, customize that cutting board, get you custom dominoes. Stop by and we will customize your order today. We can be found on Etsy and Our Plugs LLC. I'll be waiting to customize your order. All you need to do is place it.
And we are back. You're listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection on 92.7 The Change. Today, we are talking about taking our power back and our community. Let's build it out. Let's build it out. So, DC, let me ask you, what are your thoughts on what we're discussing this morning? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I believe in the resilience of our people, first off. I believe in that. I believe through our traumatic history, we've shown that we have the skill set, the mindset, the driven motivation to overcome challenge. For me, I think we still need a little bit more retraction in what's happening, meaning that things are going to have to get a little bit worse to make people drop their selfishness and see that as a collective, we have more power as a group than we do as individuals. I think that truly needs to happen, and I don't want to discount the allies of our community, because we've always in our struggle we've had allies. So not everybody is an op, right? So but I think one of the reasons why we got so far off track, my words, is that we've lost the sight of where we came from. The struggle, things that brought us to this level of success when we're 2, 3 generations in of college graduates, and now we're living in suburbia and we're driving $80,000 cars, and with that mentality, sometimes you forget where it all started from, right?
Yeah.
So for me, and I'm not a sadist, but I think that the American people they need to go through some more. Okay, and a little bit more pain needs to be inflicted so that they truly know what is sitting in that Oval Office, so that we never go back down this road again of false promises and lies. The agenda was clearly put out there for us all to understand, right? Project 2025. We all knew he denied it. I don't know anything about Project 2025. And as soon as he got in office, he started checking off the boxes of Project 2025. So, there's a lot of us that are to blame. And there's a lot of people that voted selfishly to preserve white supremacy. I'm just going to call it like I see it.
It's the truth.
I feel that, as a collective, I just feel like the belt's got to get a little bit tighter before people really realize the danger that we're in, because some people still don't get it. You can go online and you can still see blagger out there on a daily, advocating for things, for the dismantlement of our community, things that we use to take us out of poverty, things that are allocated to protect citizens, and a lot of them are going to be affected. You know, so I just think, in my opinion, we're on the right path. I mean, I agree with everything you and Reggie said. We need to work together. There's strength in numbers. We need to put aside all of our differences, and build our own infrastructure. And once we do that, every time we've seen that happen in our history, um, it's kind of a secret, right? We're doing it behind their back. But once we build it and it becomes dynamic, then they want to destroy it, because no longer do we need, we're
Yeah.
independent. We don't need them anymore, right? We've built our own. We've established our own. So I think, that's exactly what we need to do. We need to develop, build our own, support our own, um, educate our own, everything. I
Well,
think
not.
we just need to roll back the hands of time. If they want to roll back to the hands of time. Let's roll them back. Let's roll them back
Let's
to a
do it.
time. Let's roll them back to a time when we supported each other. When you could go next door to your neighbor if you didn't have food, and that neighbor would make sure you and your kids had a meal on your table. Let's go back to the time when your neighbor needed a ride to church or to work, and you would readily give them that ride without a second guess. So, hey, I welcome that. I
Yeah.
welcome
You
that.
could.
Like I said in the past, a Black awakening is what I seek. I seek that. I want all Black people to realize that no matter where you came from, what you're doing, what your title is, what your financial situation is, if you scratch away the surface, we all have something in common. We all have something that links us all together, you know. So
I agree with that a
I
thousand.
agree.
I do too.
Go
I
ahead.
want to say this, DC. Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%, like the rest of the group, because in order for change to occur, people do have to feel it. Meaning the lights have to get cut off, metaphorically speaking. The lights have to be cut off, and you have to now figure it out. I heard a yesterday morning, as I was getting ready. I tend to listen to some lives, some interesting lives, particular, and a person who's a blagger was on the live, and they were saying, yeah, it's, strip it all, and they proceeded to talk about how they have a grandmother who's a senior citizen who gets Social Security and all of that. And just take it from them, take it from everybody, because we need them to take it. So I want them to keep that energy when it's taken, and your mama, your mama, big mama, don't have her check no more, are you gonna take care of her?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, in order for change to occur, you have to feel the fire. You have to feel the heat.
Touch the fire.
You have to. And then we collectively as our plugs, as a community, because we are a community, we can start reaching back. You know, at the beginning of the show, we had an extraordinary educator. We need to reach out to her and see what she's doing these days, you know, because
Dr. Barlow.
Yes, I heard DC talk about education, and that was on my mind too. And not only a community garden, but we need some educators that'll be here to be able to kind of give people some education on who they are, especially our people, because that's the struggle too. A lot of people don't know what our power is, as my sister Powerful Black Woman says all the time. We don't know who we are. We need to stand in our powers. She knows who we are. Some of us know who we are, who we come from. I read an article earlier we talked about. A lot of us didn't know. Maybe a lot of us did know. I didn't know. And I'm pretty sure it's a lot who didn't know.
I didn't know
who we are and how more and more it becomes known to us how dominating we are.
We truly are.
I'm saying yes. Community gardens, base stations in different states where everybody is doing and talking to each other. We can talk to each other across states. We just got to link the correct people.
Right.
Exactly.
People who are going to do the work. Because
Exactly.
we can talk all day, but it's about the action. What are you going to do? What are you doing? And if you are doing something, give me the scoop.
Yeah.
Fill me in on how you're doing it. That's what Harriet Tubman did. She went and walked to freedom and told other people, and they had little communities going underground.
Exactly.
They had organizations going. She brought her organization to them and connected with them.
Exactly.
So that they could broaden the horizon.
Exactly.
And spread the word to everybody and it was in little windows, like a calling or a song. I watched the movie, a song, you know, where people knew that's it. That's what we're doing, you know, because we know we can't tell them all our business. That's when they attack us.
Right, they had code words. And to your point, DC, and to your point, Miss Morningstar, as we set up these charging stations and these rest stops, however you guys, you know, care to frame it or characterize it, you know, we also become disruptive without being disruptive. We become disruptive because we become independent. Okay. Exactly. Disruptive without being disruptive, but then also with respect to your point about them desiring to tear us down, well, to tear it down, the difference that exists, say, with Black Wall Street and now is that now, to your point, DC, is that we have more allies. We have more global allies than we did before. We were isolated pretty much in and unto ourselves before. Now that is not the case. And because this is more of a class issue, not so much of a race issue, you have other people and demographics of people who are directly being impacted as well. And they're not going to be able to eat also. So they're going to be looking for allyship and for infrastructure. And again, for those who are not against us, I consider them to be with us. So let's also invite them in. I mean, we can be the nucleus. We can be basically the government, the governing body and the decision makers. But, you know, we can have tiers of the organization that exists. But we can also utilize the resources and the influence of our allies to create a protection around what we're building in that infrastructure. So
that's a really good idea. Go ahead, DC.
Yeah, I mean, I think this election, you know, it educated some people, and what I mean by that is that when you assimilate with your oppressor, okay, and your oppressor drains all usefulness out of you, then he will quickly remind you that he's superior to you. You are not my equal. One of the key points in that is, let's just take for example our Latin American community in Florida, right? The Cubans for Trump, right? We watched all of that on TV play out. And as soon as he got into office, 530,000 Latin American refugees from Venezuela, Cuba, were ordered out of the country. Okay, so here you are, you're rallying behind your oppressor. You're trying to assimilate and find closeness with him because you feel like, well, if I show him my allegiance, then now I'm above the fray, right? You know, I won't be targeted because I pledged my allegiance to him. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, we know that, right? We know that as African Americans, we know, you know, we know what the game is, right? We recognize game. We recognize game.
We got about 8% and 20% that still ain't getting it yet.
That's right. That's right. That's right. But you know, we recognize
not everybody
game.
Can get on the bus. Not everybody.
Yeah. And like I said, not even we recognize the game, but we can look back at our lineage and see people that are of direct effect of the system, right? You know, we all have grandparents and parents that were subject to the system, you know, and through their blood, sweat, and tears, we're able to you know, rejoice from the successes of their struggle, right? So, you know, I hate to sound, you know, pessimistic, but I think some people need to go through some things. You know, I just think some people need to go through some things to remind them of what we're up against. You know,
here's my thought process on that. You're right. You're absolutely correct. Some people need to go through some things, and you know what? You get what you put out into the universe is what you get back.
Absolutely.
Those people are going to go through some things. If you put out in the universe that you are going against your own best interest, then your own best interest will be affected.
Right. Exactly.
So we don't even have to do anything.
You're absolutely right.
Continue to move forward and continue, because two things can happen at once.
Exactly.
They are going to go through some things. All those blaggers that thought that they are, I'm going to assimilate, and all those Latinos for Trump and Cubans for Trump, they thought that they would assimilate, and now they are going through some things, and they are going to continue to go through some things, while we, on the other hand, will continue to build our infrastructure and keep it. And I agree with you. Those allies who have been here and who are working towards unlearning their inherent racism, because let's call a thing. We are our ancestors. So are they.
Mm-hmm.
But they are, if you're willing to unlearn that, you know, and you're willing to do the work, because it's not, you know, the Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. You know, that Christian Bible that they gave to the slaves, faith without works is dead. If you don't work, you don't eat.
That's right.
It's not a situation where you can just come over here and, hey, I'm an ally and I.
What y'all cooking?
No.
Right.
No, we know. Yeah, that's why I said, you know, we would basically be the nucleus. You know, essentially, you know, this is our idea, this is our concept. And then, but then, you know, we have tiers, just like they do in any organization. You have your CEOs and you all the way down to your administrative. So, and again, you know, we just have to be vigilant. Exactly. We have to be vigilant in terms of who we allow in. But all that said, I'm convinced that there are more people that are with us, because again, we're the vast majority of us that have been impacted by this, right?
It's millions.
I firmly believe there are people doing exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah, they are
having the conversation.
Absolutely. We
So
have
trying
to.
to network,
And
trying to
I
figure
love
it
the
out.
fact that we're having this conversation, and I will open up the floor to anyone that's listening to come and join us and have this conversation. But not only are we going to have this conversation, our team's getting together tomorrow, and we've got a lot of work to do.
We do.
And one of the main things that we must do, number one, is sit down and map it out.
Hmm.
Put a plan so that we can, we've already got the directory up and running. So
Right.
everybody's putting their business in there. If you want to be a part of this, you have to get you a general membership. But now it's time to branch out and build out and start putting those pieces together
Right.
and putting those levels together and connecting with those existing community gardens and those existing farmers and those
Exactly.
existing people who have livestock and putting a program in place. It's
Right.
easier said than done, but we're willing to do the work. And
Yeah.
all of us have full-time jobs. All of us have families. So we're all going to have to collectively do this together.
I
We
agree.
cannot put all of this on just one person. It's going
I
to
Yeah.
take
agree.
everyone having to
There's no way
all
we can
hands
do
on
it.
deck.
But you see what we did with the Target. That's how we need to move.
Exactly.
Right.
We
Exactly.
have to move in a whole, in so many words. HUAL. We have to hold together and bust through in order to make a difference, because it can't just be 2 or 3 people.
No, it's going to take thousands of us. It's going to take millions of us
I
actually
agree.
Millions.
to
I
actually
agree.
make a difference. But you got to start at level 1. Start at footing 1. We've got
And that goes for
we
the audience.
yes,
The
it goes for
listening
everyone that's
audience. Even
listening.
if you're not signed up for our plugs, which we want you to do. But
Yes.
we need you too.
Yes, and it's level 1. We've got the infrastructure. It's just a matter of putting some things in place so that people can sign up. It's a matter of getting people not only on to our plugs, but being able to, and that's the back end, being able to say, what can you bring to the table? And that's just putting that
Exactly.
infrastructure onto the website and building that out. And that's going to take some time and some sitting down with my IT and getting that set up. But it's nothing but, a couple afternoons of
Right.
work.
We just, yeah, to
But
your point, DJ Kitty, to your point, yeah, we just need to start identifying where everyone,
strengths,
each
yes.
other is and are, and then begin to connect the dots. Because, like you said, they're components of this that are already up and running. We just need to identify where they are, and then we just need to connect, and then we like, okay, what is step 1, step 2, step 3, and then we start putting it together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
One of the things that Reggie said earlier, I'd like to address just briefly. As far as the organization of the political party, I truly believe that someone will rise organically out of this situation. I don't think we need to coronate anyone just yet, because, like I said, I think as the belt starts to tighten and we gain more uh, allies, that are opposition to what's happening within the country. I truly believe someone will organically rise to the top to represent that fight. So, even though it looks bleak, our next major election is in 2026. I think we should probably, the groundwork for that needs to happen, the organizing, getting voters registered, because we know there's going to be a lot of voter suppression in the midterms. Because basically, if we can take the House and Senate, he's lame duck, right? He can't pass any legislation. He'll just keep doing what he's doing with executive orders, which, the ease of fear of the listening community can all be undone with
All
another
of it.
president. So it's not the way of the future, because it can all be undone in 4 years. And I know 4 years seems like a long time, but
Thank
it's
you for
not
saying that,
infinity.
DC.
Yeah, it's
Thank
not
you for saying
infinity.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't want people in the listening audience to think that everything has changed, because every time he puts that pen to paper, it can be erased because he's not
It's not
legislating.
laws.
Yeah, he's not
It's not
legislating laws. He's
Mhm.
doing things by executive order. So all of that can be reversed. Everything
And
he's
we
done
not doom
to
and
this point.
gloom, y'all. We
Right,
not doom and
right.
gloom.
And the
So like,
executive orders are only good for 90 days. Keep
That's
that in mind. Executive orders
no, they're
don't
from
stay.
term to term, right? Or
No.
they 90 days?
Look, let me double check. You guys keep
Okay.
talking. Let me look it up. But it's my understanding executive orders they last for 90 days.
Okay. And then
Yeah, I just think that that our again, our ability to eat and to sustain ourselves, that should be priority number one.
absolutely.
I think we
And
going over the
make sure
show.
we can exist. Okay. That's priority
Yeah.
number one. That's the infrastructure. And then once we can eat, live, and exist and have enough strength, okay, to do all these other things, then that's priority number 2, 3, or 4, or whatever. But I think that our first and foremost effort should be focused on how do we create infrastructure so that we can survive, and then beyond that, you know what I'm saying? We can. That's where the organizing and stuff comes. But if people are hungry and they're not, you know, then they don't have the physical strength to be active.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's all part of the master plan, like
exactly.
DJ said earlier. Martial law. Just imagine if there's no food on the shelves and in the grocery stores, what kind of chaos is that going to create? You know what I'm saying? So for the listening audience, we're talking about it now. Prepare
Exactly.
now.
You guys, we have ran out of time.
We are over.
We are over time. We've been talking. This was
This is good.
great live. Thank you so much, DC. Thank you guys. Sorry, WKRA, we ran over, but we are talking. This is not the end of this conversation. We will be back next week to continue this conversation. You guys have a great day. Look at how, we get to talking and it's so good. You guys go ahead and say good morning. Tell everyone to have a great day.
Charge it to our heart, y'all.
Yes,
have a
please.
good morning, everybody.
Y'all have a
Happy
great
Thursday, everybody.
morning. Happy Thursday. Go ahead and say goodbyes, DC.
Goodbye, everybody. Be safe.
Thank you.
Hey, y'all.
Wow.
It's DJ Kitty.
And Miss Morningstar.
We are here from Our Plugs, the Community Connection, and we will be your new morning host on WKRA 92.7 The Change.
Yes, we will be broadcasting Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
We'll also be streaming on YouTube at Our Plugs LLC.
Be sure to tune in.
Hey, y'all.